It's Friday, June 5th, 2020, and these days in the pandemic and these days when people need to speak out for justice, I find myself following the poet Rumi's guidance in his poem, The Guest House, to welcome whatever walks in your door each day and listen respectfully. So a lot of these days I find that it's sorrow that walks into my door, sorrow of all different kinds. Some of it's personal, some global, some national, and most recently the death of George Floyd on May 25th, where his life was taken violently by someone in authority. So I take Rumi's advice to respect what walks in the door, and I often use writing or making a small video to stay in touch with someone. And several days after his death, I found myself writing this. I'm a 66-year-old white privileged woman. But this is my expression, and it's based on the understanding of blessing from Dr. Rachel Naomi Remen in her book, My Grandfather's Blessing, which I read about probably more than 15 years ago. And in it, she talks about blessing. Yes, it can be a religious ritual, a laying on of hands, words spoken over or to someone. But she says, really, blessing is the way of relating to each other. Being genuine to one another, strengthening what is whole in another, which I find really exciting rather than threatening. Remembering and acknowledging someone's true nature and worth. And she says, blessings strengthen life just as water does. Our way of relating can strengthen life just as water does. And my translation of all this is, it's the hope for each other to be fully alive and do whatever small gestures we can towards that self-compassion, compassion for others. So this is called Blessing, and I wrote it May 31st, and I keep coming back to it. Blessing for a man whose life was snuffed out under the knee of another, subjugated, pinned down, not allowed to breathe, by someone carrying badge and gun, 3 men kneeling on him. The country is smoldering, burning, angry. Blessing for a black man, a quiet personality, a beautiful spirit, a friend says of George Floyd. And we don't forget the many who came before him, a long, painful history. Blessing is to see another as fully human, to truly see someone in their humanity and life. Blessing is to be seen and known, and so devastating, damaging, even fatal to be disregarded, disenfranchised, held lower than, disrespected, labeled, cast aside. A brash, crass president not leading, not healing, names the press as enemy of the people and tweets when the looting starts, the shooting starts. More sickness in our long history of disregard for others, now visibly disrobed, shown on camera. Let those who have eyes to see, see. Naked, raw, ugly. I want to express gratitude also for people who are speaking out and naming the wrongs that have been with us for generations. For political leaders, for military leaders who are saying this is wrong. It reminds me of the Emperor's New Clothes, where it's finally a child who can point and say, look what's going on, name it, the guy's naked. think we each have to find our way of taking steps, finding expression, grieving, reaching out, being grounded, finding beauty each day among holding the trouble that is present also. Trouble and beauty. It's our work to hold both.